TempahZone.
How's it going, everybody? Wherever you listen to this podcast right here, this is episode 111 of the TempahZone podcast with your host, me, Amir Max, and that's all facts. And I got my homie Nick Torch with me, aka Rick Porch. You know what I'm saying? Aka my name is Chef.
My name is Chef.
Rick Porch.
Rick Porch. Why?
Rick Porch sounds so bad. No offense to anyone named Rick. Rick's a cool name, but Rick Porch just
Rick Porch. That just sounds like someone that like screws people out of money. Rick
Porch
like, is your shady landlord.
There we go. I was like, I knew if I give you Rick Porch, you're gonna say that sounds like this. I was like, let me give the alley-oop to Nick on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Just fucking
dude. Rick Porch does sound like someone who scams you out of money.
Does.
Oh, that is fucking.
Rick Porch works for Jordan Belfort.
Absolutely. Rick Porch is a schemy motherfucker. He will take your money if he can. But he's a cool dude though. Like on the front, like you wouldn't, he's one of those guys. So
until you let him manage your money.
Again, it's then it's gone. It's all gone.
And it's gone.
We'll put this in your 401k.
You have 3 million theoretical dollars, and it's gone.
And it's gone.
That was before YouTube monetized stuff.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was all like the YouTube stars. It was before YouTube actually started paying their. She has to be in the frame every single time.
She knows when it's pod time, yo. Maggie knows what's up. For those listening, Nick's dog Maggie is in the camera right now. So for all my dog lovers, y'all probably going
her head right there.
I love it, man. It's dope. It's dope. Nah, man.
She's a real one. That's for sure.
I want to start this off with a cheers, man. Just cheers to more life and just, getting shit rolling, making shit happen. We made good progress with the EP yesterday. So let's cheers to that, man.
Health, wealth, positivity, prosperity.
Yeah. Let's sip on that, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. I'm sipping an Allagash right now, ladies and gentlemen. So don't judge me.
Yeah.
I'm sipping good shit right now.
Allagash White?
Yeah, Allagash White. That good shit. You know what I'm saying?
Good. That's
not that Bud Light. No, I'm playing. Bud Light has its place.
Mick Ultra now.
Yeah, Michelobes are getting popping right now, man.
Yeah, because they're low cal, low carb.
Yeah, once the seltzer game came along,
more taste. Yeah, they have a little bit more taste than a Bud Light does.
Yeah, and this had Bud Light so much over the years. It's just like, I can't do it anymore. It's seen better days.
A lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The other reason why I wanted to cheers because I wanted to start off with a good note. Before we get into this topic that I feel like I just want to just address and get out the way. I don't really want to spend like an insane amount of time on it because everybody's talking about it right now, I feel. But
also very polarizing.
Yeah. I'm going to choose my words wisely speaking on this. We're going to talk about R. Kelly, ladies and gentlemen. He has been found guilty of fucked up shit, but he's been guilty of racketeering, one count.
That's the official conviction.
Yes, racketeering. Yeah, it should be called that. With 14 underlying acts, including kidnapping, forced labor, and sex trafficking, and violating the Mann Act, which prohibits sex trafficking across state lines. So
within state lines, it's fine though, right?
Oh my god, Jesus. Within state. I don't even know what the Mann Act is.
That's so strange that's like the stipulation. It's prohibited across state lines.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I bet you it's just another way to add a charge to these scumbags' convictions, which I'm all for.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's just a way to find around it. I guess with all the shit that's gone on, I think they just have to look into these little details to figure out ways to take somebody down, kind of like RICO cases. Because they couldn't get the mob for the longest time. And then they came up with the RICO case, and then they could take down the mob.
Might just get hit with the RICO.
Mm-hmm. You might just get hit with the RICO. That's why they call it that shit, man, because they had to find a way to take these criminals down. They were getting too good with it. And I mean, nowadays with the internet,
mafia. It was the New York mob, the New York and New Jersey mob that actually, before Giuliani tarnished his good name, it was good for a while.
Yeah, because of 9/11.
9/11, but before that in the 90s, he was the district attorney of New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And he was young and ambitious at the time, and he's the one that really took down the Italian mafia in New York.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a lifetime ago. I feel like I'm talking about a different person.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I mean,
but he was young and hungry and was the DA at the time, or he was assistant DA and then DA. And then he just cracked down on like the 5 crime families.
Mm-hmm.
Little known fact, not to go on a tangent.
No, but I didn't know what he did.
That's why people liked him. And then 9/11 happened when he was mayor.
Mm-hmm.
He was mayor, right? He was mayor
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. So on top of that, that was just another accolade. And then the last few years, he totally sunk himself into the shitter because.
Mm-hmm. What I will say is, though, minorities never liked Giuliani. I will say that.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So there is that because, the strict laws, but, New York was very dangerous. And I think he just went overboard. I think that's the case, It's
and then you have the case of the Central Park. Was it the Central Park 5?
Yeah. I don't know if he played a role in that, but
I'm sure he did with his DA background.
That was in the 90s. So he had to have. Yeah.
He had to have had a hand in that. And that's probably why him and Trump got along. Again, not trying to get political, but those two are buddy.
Absolutely.
And Trump notoriously at the time in the 90s was advocating for like the death penalty for these 5 black dudes that ended up being acquitted. Mm-hmm. So it would make sense that was the beginning of the downward spiral.
Yeah, man. That was when I watched when they see us, because I knew about that story for a bit, but that documentary really brought it to life with what they went through. But
that's insane.
Yeah, man. But back to R. Kelly, man. This shit right here, what I really want to say, and I want everyone to hear me when I say this, we are all hypocrites. Because this shit has been in the public sphere for a little bit for a long time. The shit with Aaliyah, the tape with the 15-year-old girl, and people watched that shit and didn't even think about how fucked up that was. Yeah, and Aaliyah being underage and him trying to find a way to marry her legally.
Marry her at 14.
Yeah, it's absolutely
like there's obviously we knew there was something up with this guy, and people just like, meh, he made the remix to Ignition.
Yeah, the music was too fire. No one tried to stop him. It blows my mind that it took that documentary to have people decide that, oh man, like, oh fuck, like R. Kelly is a shitty person. Like, let's stop listening to his stuff. Yeah, a monster, a straight up disgusting person. And I really want to say, like, we're all hypocrites, man. Every single person is a hypocrite. Everybody has their own criteria for why they won't listen to an artist and why they can be like, oh, I can look past that. And I just really want to address that because it blows my mind that for so long, like, no one had talked about it or addressed it or tried to be like, yo, can anyone like see what's going on over here? And it finally blew up.
We could. Mm-hmm. It finally did blow up. It finally, because I feel like a lot of it is due to the fact of streaming and binge watching culture. People just watched it because it was the next big thing to watch. And because of that attraction, it opened up a lot of people's minds to stuff that they otherwise wouldn't have known or otherwise were just ignorant to. Like had heard about, but never really gave it a second thought. So, I mean, props to, modern entertainment delivery in that regard, reaching a wide audience. And so it's good that stuff like that came out. And you could apply the same principle to the whole Cosby thing. That didn't gain renowned, acknowledgement until, Hannibal Buress started using it in his stand-up acts and posting about it on Twitter. Mm-hmm. So it's all about reaching the masses there. So it's a good thing. It's a positive thing. This current state of, entertainment delivery and social media and stuff. It's opening people's eyes and making an exponentially larger amount of people aware of some of these pieces of shit that are out there. Mm-hmm. So use modern technology and media to your advantage, like in these cases.
Yeah, I mean, it really got that word out there about R. Kelly because, you know, when you're talking about a younger generation, like even like us, we weren't there for R. Kelly in the 90s, early 2000s. So for us, we would have not have paid attention to it. But the fact that there was people who were around, like seeing R. Kelly do the stuff with Aaliyah, and then the sex tape that came out that R. Kelly, that Dave Chappelle made fun of. I'm gonna pee on you, and people laughed at that shit, and no one even wanted to like address how fucked up this was.
I feel like half the people knew how fucked up it was and laughed at it because of how fucked up it was, and the other half of people didn't even know why they were laughing.
Yeah,
and then the underlying thing is, so even to the people that did understand the reference and the allegations at the time, like they laughed at it, but that was, it ended there. It wasn't like, we're laughing because we know it's true. And that's where it ended. Like nobody had the, you know, the thought that maybe why are we just brushing this off?
Yeah.
We're laughing at it because we know it's true. Yet it's funny because, you know, he's making fun of an R. Kelly type song.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, it's Dave Chappelle. Like it was a comedy skit, of course, but like there's truth behind the comedy, like a dark truth. That's why it was so funny, is because it was darkly comedic, because so many people knew about what was going on. And yet even after something like that, you mentioned Dave Chappelle show, R. Kelly. You don't even have to say a full sentence. You say those two things, Chappelle show, R. Kelly, people immediately know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they know the skit.
Dude, that came out in like 2004 or 3 or something like that. Like, it's been a while since this shit has been out in the open.
Yeah. And those cases of the racketeering and the sex trafficking and the underage girls, he's been doing this forever. He's been doing decades. the whole decades of this shit. And it's just so weird to me how like now people decided to give a shit. I mean, that Me Too movement really
part of the culture now.
Yeah.
Now you gotta say something. That's a whole nother tangent about fucking cancel culture. Not even Me Too stuff, but just like cancel culture in general. It's just like, you're an asshole if you don't jump on the cancel train, whether it's justified or not. But in this case, it was justified. It is justified.
I mean, he got found guilty. Like, there's a whole innocent till proven guilty. So, like, you try to give people some leeway with certain situations, but this shit right here, like, beforehand, you knew he did the shit he did.
You knew he was a fucking weirdo and a sick fuck because he tried to jump through hoops to marry a 14-year-old.
Exactly.
And achieved that. If that wasn't the only thing you needed to know that he's a predator, like what the fuck?
And you know, and
like you said, we're all hypocrites. We were all ignorant to it for years. We know, even though we had this information. Same thing with Cosby too. I mean, like, this information was out there. It just didn't, you know, reach the masses in the correct manner. What that is, I don't necessarily know. I just know what has happened. As a result. So.
And it's just sickening because there was people in Aaliyah's family, R. Kelly's people around him. They all saw this shit and everyone just kept their fucking mouth shut. You wonder why? Money, because they didn't want to fuck up the bag. Everybody just kept their mouth shut. And that shit just blows my mind. And then you got people out here, when R. Kelly was found guilty, still outside his courthouse saying free R. Kelly, like bumping his music. The man just got convicted for racketeering in the man case. Like, I mean, come on now, like
human trafficking.
Man Act. It's called the Man Act. But it's just absolutely absurd. Like find someone else's music to like. God damn it. Like, fuck his music. Get that shit out of here. You don't play that in the club no more. Fat Joe and Ja Rule did a verses, and they both had R. Kelly songs and didn't play them. They don't want no parts with R. Kelly, man. But he worked for a lot of people and featured on a lot of big hits. So it's going to be very interesting to see how, you know, like Ron Isley had music written by R. Kelly. Ron Isley. And he used a lot of that in his verses when he did that. And people were like, what the fuck? But it's like, what do you expect him to do? Like, some of his, you know, some great songs came from that. And it leaves people in a very complex and weird situation. And I hate when people make it so like, oh, like no more R. Kelly in any form, shape, or fashion. It's like, it's going to be pretty difficult to completely negate what he did in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
like when someone like that has been around in the industry for that long and has touched, like I don't mean this to be funny, but like touched so many different facets of the industry and other artists. Like imagine it as a tree's roots. Like you can't just pull those roots out and expect them to pull out of the ground
exactly
without ripping up shit around them. Mm-hmm. Like if you just visualize R. Kelly's the tree trunk in this example. I'm not saying he's the most influential musician and songwriter of all time, but
he had a
given his
massive
time in the
impact
industry
on R&B.
Yeah, massive. And then just in the music game in general. Mm-hmm. And if you traced all those roots out from the stump, you want to pull that stump out, you're gonna have to rip out all those roots and all the ground that's around it in one big clump. It's not that cut and dry.
Yep. Jay-Z worked with him.
Separate. Yeah, it's tough.
Jay-Z made a whole project with him. Yeah. Lady Gaga worked with him. Like so many big artists worked with this guy. Like up to like 2010, 2009, like people were Usher had the song with R. Kelly, Same Girl. Like there's just too many big names who affiliated.
Space Jam, dude. Every time I hear "I Believe I Can Fly," all I think is nostalgia from the 90s and early 2000s, from when we were kids watching Space Jam. You can't think of Space Jam, not the new one. We don't speak of that.
Yeah, we're talking about the first one.
Yeah, just Space Jam, the Space Jam. Just like it's the intro, like the beginning when he's a little kid and he's out at like 1 a.m. shooting hoops, and all of a sudden you hear in the background.
Yeah, it's just like
I believe I can fly. And it's just like right in the childhood. Yeah, like it's hard to disconnect those feelings and the enjoyment and the nostalgia of a song like that and the film that it's attached to and the memories that it's attached to. It's really hard to break yourself away from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. It's absolutely a complicated and shitty situation for all that involved, the victims, the families, the fans who were trying to wanted to listen to him and now they can't, and like there's a lot of people have been affected, and it's shifted a good amount for people in the game right now, in life. It's all around just a messy situation. It just still blows my mind how many artists are speaking out about how like I saw recently Akon was saying how like we should give chance for R. Kelly to redeem himself. Nah, man, some people don't get a chance at redemption.
Yeah, like I mean, we've already said everything that needs to be said, you and I, about all the things that should have been red flags right off the bat. Like we've known for a while that this dude has been shady and predatory and just disgusting for the longest time and has continued to do it. It's not like he was called out on it and stopped. You would think that if Chappelle's skit, for example, even though it's comedy, it's a social commentary about something that's real. You would think that something that has that much notoriety and is that well known, you would think that someone that was doing shady shit like R. Kelly would just be like, you should probably stop now. But no, he kept doing shit for decades, and would still be doing that.
It's funny. I'm pretty sure like R. Kelly's goons tried to get at Dave Chappelle after that one.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a story about it. Yeah,
no, because he's like cult. It legit like a cult, like the cult of R. Kelly.
Yeah, I've heard from multiple people about how like they're like, yo, man, my parents love R. Kelly. My mom loves R. Kelly. My aunt loves. I've heard people say that. Like recently, I've talked to people who've told me this and like
as
firsthand.
A person though.
Yeah, music. I don't know
music, right. Like I'm saying, but like
they mean
that's
the
why
music.
It's like you don't love R. Kelly.
Yeah.
You love R. Kelly's music.
Yeah, that's what they meant by that. But still,
even his music though, there's certain songs like Bump and Grind, like. My mind is telling me no, but my body's telling me yes.
Yeah, like
I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind.
Like in the lyrics,
motherfucker wasn't even trying to be subtle.
Yeah, he wasn't. Like, and there's other songs too you can go back to from what I've heard from people where it was like, yo, it was right there. Like there.
Like lesser known songs, but like a song that was
There's a song called AJ Number to Number, I'm pretty sure. I swear to God.
I think there is. I'm pretty sure you're not wrong.
And that was like late 90s, like before Ignition, before before that era, you know what I'm saying? Step in the Name of Love. Just crazy.
You know what else is a number? A jail sentence.
Exactly. And he's going to be in there for life. I'm pretty sure he got convicted for life.
He's got no money left either.
Yeah, he's dead broke, man. And then
trying to pay all the legal fees to try to get himself out of the shit that he created and the horrible things that he did. Wasted all his money doing that, and he has the audacity to get on that fucking interview and be like, "These people are killing me, man. They're killing me." It's like, fuck you. I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy at all for someone like that.
Yeah, man, you can rot in jail, bro. Yeah, I'm seeing a report on from New York Times saying he was found guilty of all counts and faces life in prison. I mean, that's from today. I'd have to look into it more so, but that shit don't surprise me at all, man. Do you play R. Kelly in the club?
No,
because I agree too.
You remember when the documentary first came out? I think you were with me and Johnny that night. I think it was the three of us, the clown show. And I think we went to, it was either Hennessy's.
Me, you, and Johnny are called the clown show in our group chat. I just want to put context to that for the people.
Yeah.
The fuck calls it the clown show. All right, go.
Yeah. For a bunch of clowns. That's why. It was in Boston. It was either Hennessy's or the Greatest Bar. Which one is the one that has 3 floors, 3 levels?
Greatest Bar.
Greatest Bar. Okay, so it was Greatest Bar. We get up to the top level, and this DJ's playing a set like it was a predetermined set, like it was a mix that had already been done. And this documentary had come out like 2 weeks before, and I can't remember if you were with us or not. I think you were, but all of a sudden, like it was a pre-made mix, and so all of a sudden you hear, "My mind is telling me no."
And everybody
my body. And the DJ gets on the mic and just goes, like, hits stop. He goes, "Nope." And just skips to the next song, and everyone cheered.
Yeah.
It was great.
Good. I mean, that's the way it's got to be now, man. You know, I'll tell us anybody, you do what you want, but if you're gonna listen to R. Kelly, you do that behind closed doors in private and don't let anyone fucking know. Because people are going to do what they're going to do, and they're still going to listen to the music that they're going to listen to. But if you decide to listen to some R. Kelly, don't bump that at a party with 50 people and you only know 5 of them. I'll tell you that right now. But who the fuck playing Ignition right now? Like, you got to change that, man. We can find other songs to vibe to, okay? Like, there's other music out there, you know?
And the thing that I want to touch upon, one thing before we move forward to the next topic is, you know, people might, when they're hearing us talk about this whole R. Kelly issue, they might say, well, what about Michael Jackson? It's like,
well, there's
he was found not guilty, first of all.
The FBI hunted him, hunted his shit down and found nothing. And
even the people that people were like, those are the victims, people like Macaulay Culkin and other people, they all came forward. To this day, Macaulay Culkin has been sober for like 5 years and got his acting career back on path. Like, he was just an American Horror Story, looking as good as ever. Has a wife, a kid, like doing great, especially in today's culture. Don't you think if something actually happened, someone that is in their right mind would say, you know what? Yeah, you guys were right all along. The allegations are true. He molested me. That never happened. Not only was MJ not found guilty, but all of his supposed victims to this day, after decades, maintain the fact that, yeah, he was innocent. He was a little weird and eccentric. Who the fuck wouldn't be if you're Michael Jackson and you grew up the way that you did? And you're the biggest pop star in the world. Who wouldn't be fucking weird? Like, yeah, he was a weird guy. He was a really weird guy. Absolutely. That we can agree on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I think the court cases and the testimonials, you know, you can think what you want. But like, it's easier for me to separate the music from the artist in that case, because it's hearsay. The negative stuff, as far as we know, is just hearsay, which is not the case with R. Kelly.
Yep. Yeah.
Over the years, he's been proven time and time again to be guilty of the stuff that people suspected.
Exactly.
The same cannot be said for Michael Jackson. And he was a once-in-a-lifetime talent, one of the greatest musicians and songwriters and singers to ever walk the earth.
Yeah, I think
that'll probably be the case forever.
Yeah. I think well said, man. Well said. And you know, we could get even further with this in terms of like, you know, gangster rap and, you know, rappers who put out songs about murdering people and then make a song about it, and people love that shit and eating it up. Meanwhile, the families of the people that they're rapping about who they killed are fucking like, you guys are dancing to a song about someone who killed my brother, who killed my son, who killed my daughter, and no one has a fucking problem with that. It's all cool. Oh, spoken on blah, blah, blah. Like, there's all that shit going on out there. No one says a fucking word. Hypocrite, double standards. People have their own fucking measurements, bro. We're all hypocrites. We're all hypocrites. I'm sick and tired of it, Nick. I'm tired of people talking this shit with all this stuff. Oh, you listen to him? What the fuck? You listen to fucking cold-blooded murderers, and you're going to pretend like there's nothing wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with our own black people killing each other in the streets? You're going to tell me that there's nothing wrong with that? You love that shit the most? Come on now. Let's go. We want to, like, I want to all those people, come and have a conversation with me. If you listen to this podcast right now, and you want to take it there and you want to have a conversation, let's have a grown-up conversation. And don't get mad at me when I take it there and you say, oh, don't compare this with that. Bad shit's bad shit. Being a pedophile, being a murderer, a rapist, an abuser, someone who scams people out of fucking money and ruins their lives, they're all shitty, bad people, all right? People are hypocrites. They choose what they want to like and what they accept. And that's what I'll say on that.
Exactly.
That's it. That's all I wanted to get off, bro. I really do, because it's just getting weird right now, and people are making it seem like it's not a complex thing, or they don't pick and choose who they listen to. Like, that's all I want to say. That's all I want to say.
I honestly don't have anything to add to it. That
Please,
was so well said.
Let's move on.
We were just building towards that, and it's just like, it's like accountability's hard, and you know, justifying the shit that you like is hard.
It's hard. It's not. This is not easy shit right here, yo.
No, and people are acting like it's black or white.
Yes, and it's not. It's not.
It's not. And black and white is easy. That's easy to look at things as black and white.
And as humans, we like to
There's
find
no challenge
in quick ways to solving things. So that's why people do that. They don't want to look into the nuances and the intricacies of all these situations. They just want that easy. Oh, this is wrong. This is bad. This is good. Yeah.
Most things in life are not black and white. Even the things that appear to be black and white. It's like, yeah, you're either one side or you're the other. You either yes or you either no. Even things like that. I'm speaking very broadly, not specific examples, but like,
that's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
But it's like most things in life are very gray.
Thank you. Yes.
Like absolutely. most everything is not black and white.
Exactly.
Even though so many people are convinced that it either is black and white or that they should think in terms of black and white. Whether they believe it or not, they're convinced that they should think that way.
Preach.
Yeah, it's just all right. Yeah, I mean,
no, I love it, man. I fucking love it. Yeah. No, and I think that's the right note to end on. I have nothing else to say.
Same.
I have nothing else to say on that. Let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah,
and
let's do so.
I want to talk about this really badly because it has, ever since the pandemic has lessened and shows have been back up, we've started to see people speak out about artists performing over backing vocals, artists performing over their song with the lyrics over and all that. It's become something very common in rap right now, and I really don't feel like it's ever been the case. I don't know if it's because a lot of songs have melody rap on it and artists refuse to perform live with auto-tune. I don't know what the case is, man, but it's been a thing now. I've never really heard your opinion on it, though, on or off air. What do you feel about artists who do this. Because there's a lot of them who perform over the straight up song. It's not even like the verse is lowered down and the chorus is still there. It's just a straight up song they're performing over. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I feel like it's really subjective. First of all, like as I'm beginning to think about it, like I'm formulating my thoughts like as I'm talking right now. So I'm trying to work it out in my head as I talk. So like, I don't know. I feel like it's probably very subjective given the size of the crowd, the venue, the type of artist, you know, what genre it is, how loud the song is, like what type of song it is.
Yeah.
Is it a banger or anything? Is it something that people are going to sing very loudly along to? Like where it wouldn't even be noticed, you know, if the person was singing over the instrumental or the instrumental with or the song already itself,
on it. Yeah, the actual song. Yeah.
Yeah. See, so like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot that could go into that. But I feel like you're talking about cases where it's brutally obvious.
Yes.
Like where it's not subtle at all, where it's just like, it's not like it's the instrumental with just the overdubs. So like say, and then the backing track is
yeah.
So like it's so instrumental plus what I just did, that's one thing to like add volume to a performance, but like still the main track in that scenario is being performed live by the person. And that all like the overdubs and the ad libs that you hear coming out, like that's all strategically part of the track that's been prepared for live performances. But in the case of people just of these artists, just, you know, it seems kind of lazy to me if they're just kind of like haphazardly, lackadaisically, just kind of like going over the song.
Yeah.
That everyone listens to already. It doesn't add much to a live performance. To me, it feels like the people there would kind of be robbed of a live performance. What makes a live performance special is that it's unique, and you know, every performance is slightly different in some way than the studio recording.
Yeah.
That's what makes a live show so different than just listening to the studio recording over and over again. It doesn't change. The song that's been released on streaming platforms, that's the song that's going to exist forever, and it's never going to change. But the things that make a live performance special is little inflections that they do. They might go up an octave. They might, you know, add, you know, some improvisation to what already exists.
And I love when artists talk to the
crowd.
Yeah.
They might insert the city's name into the lyrics. Like, you know, that's what makes a live performance special. And I feel like that's what I have to say about it. I mean, like I said, like I started off by saying, it's subjective.
Absolutely.
But if we're talking about the specific scenario in which an artist is just half-assedly going over the song that everyone already knows, the recording that everyone already has access to on multiple devices and platforms, it's like you're not doing the audience justice, and it's not really a true live performance. Like you didn't have to really be there.
Yeah. No, that's very well stated, man. I don't mind it if you're actually rapping everything, you're doing your thing, but it bothers me when artists will do it and they just like do like half a line each line,
and then just like
and just like
around the stage.
I don't like that, man. That shit bothers the hell out of me.
You're not performing the song. You're not performing the song at that point.
That shit bothers the hell out of me, man. And like you said, like when an artist like does that live song and they're adding those different inflections and making it different for the live performance, it just makes it so much more dope. And there's just been a lot of more people who've been speaking out more about it. But like you look at the artists who don't do that, who actually perform their shit and don't have the vocals over it. Someone like Travis Scott, Benny the Butcher, Jack Harlow, Tyler the Creator, Freddie Gibbs.
Billion.
Don't tell me those five aren't well-respected, dope artists.
Yeah, it could be done. It can be done.
Those are well-respected artists. And so like when you see it like in that lens, it's like that's dope. But then like that's like cool shit. But then there's a certain artists where like I get it if they don't. Like I'm pretty sure when I saw Meg Thee Stallion, she had her vocals over it, but she's dancing on stage, moving all around with people all over. Like I saw Playboi Carti, and he did have it, and you can kind of get it, but at the same time, it's like you should probably be performing your actual lyrics. You know what I mean?
So like with someone like exactly like someone like Meg Thee Stallion, they're putting on a show.
Yeah, if you're doing the dancing and stuff like that, I totally get
and it's
performing.
It's choreographed. Yeah. Like it's choreographed. You're already doing a balancing act. If you miss a line or two in the backing track or the just the track, fills it in, you're already busy and occupied. Like
exactly. That's when I understand it. Yeah,
I don't even bat an eye at that. Exactly. It's like I'm impressed that you even got that much. Like that's impressive. But when artists are just like and then just like and then just like pace back and forth across the stage. Yeah, and just let the song play. It's like just have a DJ play the song at that point.
Exactly. Like if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna do it, at least bring the energy.
Present.
Yeah, like when Playboi Carti does it, he's bringing the energy. Like that motherfucker going like off the in the middle of the crowd on top of shit. I'm talking about when I saw him at Lollapalooza. Like it's like okay, this dude's showing up by himself, just one man. Okay, and he's going insane. I can cut some slack for that, but I just feel like especially if you're not like a melody rapper and you're rapping, like there's no reason for you not to like just perform over the instrumental with the verse and then like with no backing vocals. Like that. It's like, come on now, like go up
instrumental on and instrumental / beat and you just rap bars. Yeah. That's all you got to do at that point. Mm-hmm. Granted, we're saying it like it's an easy thing to do. Rapping is not easy. It's way harder than people think it is. No. It is a skill that needs to be honed over many, many years, and
especially and having breath control isn't easy, and missing insane. Words. It's very tough. Don't get me wrong, and I'll be honest with you.
Working on linguistics and stuff like this, and mouth movement, and like you said, breath control. It's just as hard as singing. It's just a different application of those same principles. Mm-hmm. It's a difficult thing to do, but for some of these artists that are clearly they're just like mumbling over the beat in the first place. Not that I have a problem with that. I like mumble rap, like if it's a vibe, it's a vibe. If it's a good song, it's a good song. But if you're going to perform it live, there's no excuse not to perform it live.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's all I ask of artists is just to give a shit more, because when you actually care and you're doing the actual song live, like you really leave a stamp on that audience. Like when they actually hear you performing the song and doing it with those inflections and doing it differently and actually performing it, like that shit goes a long way, man. And look,
Mac Miller, Mike Shinoda, John Bellion, 3 people I've seen live. 3 people that have done shit 100% live in real time, played the instruments, sang, made the music. They weren't even playing a backing track. Mike Shinoda was at the piano and MPCs, as was Bellion, just basically made a song on stage, both of them in 2 different concerts. And then who was the other one I said? Mac Miller played guitar, drums, piano, rapped, sang, danced.
Crazy.
Like, these motherfuckers that are just over the
and
song,
skipping lines,
you got no excuse.
Like you got no excuse. Like I have a problem when you skip lines. Like you're not even trying to like rap every word. Like you're skipping lines. I don't accept that. That is unacceptable. Like go ahead and perform over your song, but like at least bring the energy. Rap your lyrics. Like go in with it. Do that. I don't care. I'm not like I'm not knocking nobody. Like in 2019. I performed over my songs fully, and it was all good. No one said anything.
But you still gave it your all. I brought the
energy, and I didn't skip a word. And and that's all I ask of people. But these big name artists are getting away with this shit, man, and they can't keep getting away with it.
It's cheap,
like the Jesse Pinkman meme. He can't keep getting away with it. To break it bad, yeah. That's how I feel about it, man. And I'm just happy. I am very happy that people are finally speaking out about it, because for the last 3 years I've been looking at this and I'm like, has no one have a problem with this? Like, why can't these big name artists perform auto-tune live? Like, they got the money and the resources to get that. Travis Scott does it.
It's not expensive technology. You and I both have it.
Dude, I've been using it for the last 2 performances I've done. And I will literally tell people what it is. It's a Zoom V6 vocal processor. It costs $380, and I'm not trying to keep it a secret. Anyone can go ahead and use it, and I'm not going to.
Waves has one too.
Huh?
Waves has one too. Waves plugins has one for even cheaper than that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm talking about like performing for live shows. Like,
no, I mean they have a live auto-tune processor.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like there's a whole ton of products. I'm just saying what I use and what I've done. Right. I just want to make sure people know. Like, I'm not gonna be this one like, oh, like if I see someone using it, oh, that's because of me, man. You did that. I'm not gonna be that guy. Like, if you're performing melody rap, you should be using that shit. Like, if you're performing with auto-tune your music, why not do it live?
Yeah, especially if you're a big name artist. The fact that we can afford, big name artist, we can afford the software and the equipment and the consoles to operate that software and whatever in a live performance setting. If you and I can do that both independently, just on our own, then there's no excuse for a big name chart topping artist to not do the same. Mm-hmm. Like, there's just, I don't get it.
Yeah, and also what I want to say, for artists who can't get, for whatever reason, if you can't get a version of your song that has the verse taken out and the chorus in, like, so no backing vocals in the chorus, in the verse, there's websites for it. And you can pay $10 and separate the vocals from the instrumental. You put that in your DAW, you just chop off the verse, leave the chorus in, and bam, there you go. You got a TV track. It's called a TV track. It's a professional name for a live track. Yes. I'm not trying to keep shit a secret, ladies and gentlemen. It's really not that hard.
Out there.
So when I see artists not doing these things to up their live performance and really leave a stamping memory when they perform live, I'm just like, you're robbing yourself of, really leaving an opportunity to let people know, like, I'm about this shit. And
but I feel like that's all part of it, though. I feel like it doesn't bother them.
Well, then we're not the same.
I feel like that. Exactly. I feel like they just don't give a shit to begin with. If they don't give a shit to begin with, then stuff.
And some of the audience don't care either.
Cross their mind.
Hey,
that's it. And
but then when they see see someone come up there and actually singing that shit and actually rapping that shit, and you can actually hear the actual voice, then they realize the difference. And I'm not like trying to say there's better or worse, but like, I'm just saying
it is what it is.
It is it is, man. It is what it is. There's
like you said, we're not keeping secrets.
I'm not keeping no secrets, man. I'm not.
The means to do it are fully available in one way or another. There's multiple different ways to make it a better performance. And if some of these artists are settling on purpose, just out of laziness or lack of care, that's shitty. But I feel like those same artists also they must think of their fans the same way. They must not, if they don't give a shit about their own, performance, then they must be like, these suckers they'll cheer to anything because it's me. That's a shitty way to be. I feel like a lot of artists like that are taking the easy route out and not putting in that little bit of extra effort to make it a good performance. I feel like they think that their fans are stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of the times they're right. And that's what keeps enabling them to do it.
Yeah, dude, fans don't care, man. They don't care if you're performing. Like, majority of them just don't care if you're performing over your actual song with the vocals over it. Like, they don't care. They're just there to see you perform the song, and they don't realize, like, they're not really performing it. Yeah. They're just like starstruck to just be in front of a person instead of seeing them on a screen. Mm-hmm. Exactly, man. It's just one of those interesting cases, man. But that's really all I have to say on that, yo. That's really I wanted to just talk about our progress on this EP we got going on, man. It feels good to start making progress with this shit. But one of the things I wanted to ask you, Nick, like, do you feel like you need to be rushed when you're making a project, or do you like to take your time with it? How would you look at it that way, man? Because I've always liked to, like, go with the flow of things. Like I don't like to rush nothing. But what would you
too.
say to that? Okay.
So I am both extremes. So all of my, musical career, I've spent way too long on small projects that could be, pieces of a larger project.
Yeah.
And I don't rush myself. I take too much time to the point where I stop working. Yeah. except not even close. So like I have no fucking excuse.
I'm gonna call you Frank Ocean now, bro.
Oh Jesus.
Nick Ocean, Nick Torsion.
Nick Torsion.
Oh, that's so corny. My bad. Continue.
Aaron Sorkin, Nick Torsion.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that.
But yeah. So I feel like I'm at the point where I don't like to be rushed either. I don't like rushing things because I feel like you sacrifice quality. And you might miss things that you otherwise may have stumbled upon and, ended up formulating, if you had a little bit more time. But again, taking too much time, stuff doesn't get done. So for me, I'm at the point where I need to, where I've finally, I don't know why it took me all these years. I'm 25. I don't know why it took me 10 years to realize maybe you should strike a balance between the two. Like,
yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm not going to force things, I'm not going to rush things, but I do like having a greater sense of organization and just a template of what the final product is going to be. That makes it a lot easier. Just establishing that long before you anticipate finishing the project, just establishing a goal. It sounds simple, but it's not when you're in this shit.
Nope.
So like even just doing that and just, so like what you and I have done is, we've code named certain songs. Okay, we got to do this for that and this for that one. But just having a number of songs that we want to have done and a vibe for each of them, something done for each of them, whether it be lyrics or actual instrumentation or both, just having little bits and pieces of a final number of songs makes it so much more manageable and doable in the long run. I feel like since, we established this template, it's going to make it so much easier to just chip away. Yeah. And we'll reach that final goal. And there's no rush with any of the tracks. If everything's already established, all we have to do is just put each song's completion meter to 100%. We don't have to work on one song at a time. We can do 1 week. We can, I'm not just speaking in our situation. I'm saying in general for other people too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, I'm just using us as an example, but we could work on one song and get, 25% of it done 1 week. And then the next week we can do 25% of another song. It doesn't have to be linear. No. Once we've established this template, which it feels good because I haven't committed to making a multi-track project in years. So,
well, it's that time.
I'm excited. That time. Everything's falling into place. I feel like finally.
Yeah, man, because we've been in talks to make an EP for a while. Yeah. But creativity is one of those things where it's like you can't really plan it. Like it's just
not black or white.
It takes you over. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have like a month where you can't write for shit, and then you'll go 4 months where you're just on beast mode. Just
that's where I'm at. Right
chorus now. Machine verses with bars, just going off.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
You sent me one of the beats, and I had a verse back to you within a half hour. And you're like, shit, you already wrote to it.
I couldn't believe it, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, I was appalled that Nick sent me this verse.
Appalled. He was offended.
Not appalled. I used the word wrong. I used okay. I was flabbergasted. I'll use a better word. I was
Paul
flabbergasted.
B's, like you were negatively
Oh
surprised.
no, not that. No, I was not negative about that. I was not. I was positively appalled. I'm kidding.
I'm so appalled. Spalding ball.
Yeah, not appalled. I was very just like wowed, like blown away that like you sent it back that quick. You know what I'm saying? And that's the shit that's dope, man. You know, I know like with artists, like they're already making music for a living and like a good living. Yeah. So but at the same time, it always surprises me when artists make like 50 songs for a project and then chop off. I'm like, I don't know. When I try to make a song, I'm trying to make the best song possible. Like
exactly. You know, that's why it takes me 8 years to make one song.
Like it blows my mind when artists are like, yeah, like I've recorded 50 songs for this project. I'm like, and we kind of chop it down to 15. I'm like, what are those other 35 songs sound
Haven't you
like?
ever heard of Sharing, Sir?
Yeah, like what did those songs sound like? Like
share those other 35 with the rest of us. God
yeah,
damn.
it just seems weird. Like that's never really been my process. Like I cut out songs before. Like I definitely have projects where it's like, you know, if I'm doing like a I mean,
remember when we planned an EP like 5-6 years ago?
Yeah.
And that was at a weird point in both of our lives where like we were still in college and trying to figure out our lives, trying to figure out finish college rather, and then figure out our lives after that. Now we're sort of past that. But back then, like there's still 2 or 3 songs that were like 90% done, recorded, mixed, just needed to be tweaked. Yeah. That we scrapped.
And that's okay. I think that's okay, man, to just not put out
I think
something.
it is too.
Nah, you know, I got a
put something out just to put it out.
Nah, man. You know, this is, you know, we're sensitive and very focused on our craft. We don't just want to put anything out there. You know what I'm saying? And we want to make sure we put out the right stuff to leave a good lasting memory on the people.
Exactly.
And so it just always
and it's important to strike a balance that way.
Yeah.
Because you can go 2 ends of the spectrum. You could take forever on a song like I do, or like I used to do. I'm not trying to do that anymore. I've realized, but you could spend 6 months working on one song and think it's the greatest thing you've ever done, which it might be, but people aren't going to give a shit about that. Or you could do the opposite and in 6 months make 60 songs that all suck. So
exactly. So it's all depends.
Important to strike a balance.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing
too, self-aware.
Yeah. When you wait too long on a song, like say you recorded a song 3 years ago and you finally decide to put it out, that song might be outdated. It might have like, you know, people could listen to that and be like, this would have done better last year, 2 years ago. Like people can tell, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the longer you wait, the longer you wait, the more that shit goes. And I just, you know, sometimes there's something special when you record a song this week and drop it 2 weeks later. Like, yo, this shit is fresh out the fucking oven, yo. Like, this shit is fresh. Yeah.
Once, I had one of those hand to God moments when I was 17. Someone I think I've spoken about this before. I don't know. But some girl from the South Shore had killed herself. And it was like the 3rd or 4th kid in our age bracket, like freshman, sophomore in high school that had committed suicide at the time.
Yeah.
That made me so fucking upset that I wrote that song Wake Me Up, and I don't even remember writing it. I just buffed out
you got
2 verses.
You were possessed. That's what I call that.
Dude, I was possessed. I was fucking possessed.
The word.
I recorded it, mixed it, and put it out that night.
Whew. Oof.
I've never done anything like that before. I could never do that now because I'm too much of a perfectionist now. I have too many tools at the tips of my fingers now. We're just like, what if this sounds better? What if that sounds better?
You know more about mixing and mastering and stuff, so you're you're a little more particular. But I think I guess you know, since you mentioned that, I think the only example I have like that is last year I recorded a song called "What Side You On," just addressing like all the fucked up shit going on with police brutality and the media and shit like that. And that was a moment where I really was taken over, and I wrote that song. I don't remember writing that song. I swear to God, I don't remember like how.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
I just made the beat. Wacky. I was tweaking with it. Bam, bah, there we go. And I listened to that song. I'm like, you know, I've written some good shit, but that song there was just like, how the fuck did I write that?
That's what I mean, dude.
Yeah, that's what I know. Like, I can't believe I wrote that.
I'm just
shit.
like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah.
I'm good, but I'm not that good.
Yeah.
It's like shit. It's like, what the fuck?
Like, what the hell? Yeah.
Not only the quality.
I've never thought that
of
with
it,
any other song than that song. Like, I can't believe I wrote
I haven't
that
thought that way with Wake Me Up, and I was 17, so that was fucking 8 years ago. But still, I've come close. But one thing that I never knew what to call experiences like that, but my vocal coach, who was my elementary school music teacher for 8 years, who's known me my entire life since I was 5 years old.
That's crazy.
She just let me into this little, phenomenon and free term of hers. When stuff like that happens, she calls it a download.
Okay.
Like a download from the ether.
Yeah.
Like you're downloading. She's like, so what are your downloads? I'm like, my what? She's like, your stuff where you felt like your hand was being controlled by someone else and your voice was being controlled by someone else. Dead ass.
That's literally what it's like when you're just in the zone.
For real. And
fucking love it. Ugh.
Yeah, so she calls them. So I refer to them as downloads now too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's the biggest.
I've always
one.
called it being possessed, but download sounds cool.
Oh, it is being possessed.
Yeah, like sure. Literally, like when you're performing on stage and you're going in, I call that being possessed. Like, yo, this motherfucker is taken over by the music gods. Apollo has touched him. You're yeah, bro. I mean, when you see certain people perform live, you're just like, that motherfucker.
You gotta psych yourself out though.
Yeah, like this is a different. You're looking at a different person right now. Like this is not the person we know. Yeah, you know what I mean. And the more
I don't remember the last time we performed together. I don't remember doing that.
Yeah,
all I remember is the only thing I remember is saying, "AMC told me murder that verse," and I looked at Anif.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I remember is him going.
Yeah.
When I said that line, and then the next thing I remember is like going to the bar and getting a beer and just just like all adrenaline.
Yeah, oh yeah, that adrenaline after you perform is
yeah.
I don't know if you're high after. No, I don't think so.
Sure,
yeah.
It's a high.
Yeah, it's a high.
AMC told me murder this verse.
Oh, that is so fucking.
Your brother was like, "Yes, yeah. He said the line.
He said the line." Oh man, yeah, no, that's that's absolutely great, man. But yeah, I think it's dope that ultimately, just to put a ribbon on it, I think it's just dope that we're making progress, man. I've seen, I'll say this, man. I don't know how long you've been officially putting out music for, but my 10 years of putting out music is coming up November 1st. I want to say this, man, and I will end it on this note. I've seen a lot of rappers come and go in this game, bro. I've seen a lot of people say they want to do it, put out 2 songs, and they fucking quit. They're not about this life. They realize this shit is difficult, and they got to put respect on fucking hip hop. You got to put respect on music, goddammit. You don't just step into this and think you can do it. The fact we're still doing it, bro. We're still creating. We're playing this project finally. We didn't give up. We're still going and still pushing. This shit right here, actions speak louder than words, bro. And I just want to make that very clear. So
yeah, and we're musicians now. We started rapping over Eminem.
Call me a
and
musician, motherfucker. Don't call me just a rapper.
Exactly.
I'm more than
If I could flip my camera around right now, you'd see this whole studio with like 6 different instruments.
Yeah.
And exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just lazy. I don't feel like
it might be. It's easy for me. I have
a good camera frame right here, so
I'm not gonna move this. Yeah, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm resting my laptop right now on my keyboard. That's not a joke. I actually am.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that says a lot. It's important for us and for people like us people that have stuck with it and challenge themselves and continue to challenge themselves.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Exactly. Start as someone, writing cheesy rhymes over a Drake beat, whatever the most popular beat was at the time, rapping over
back when people did remixes like crazy. No one does remixes.
That's all
anymore.
I did for like the first 2 years. Yeah. That's all we did.
Yeah.
And like the first 3 songs we did together
were remixes,
were all remixes. And
crazy.
So like to know that we started there and acknowledged that there was something more that we were capable of, And every time we had that same thought, we always thought we reached the next step. I'm capable of more. I'm capable of more. I want to be capable of more. And we've done it and we continue to do it. So like, good for us. Go us. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, yes. This is the time of the podcast where we say, hey, look, we're gonna put we did our thing. We trying to just stick with it and keep pushing, keep going, man.
Let my nuts hang.
And yeah, and the same to any other artist. If you've been doing it for a long time, fuck all the haters, man. Do your thing. Keep pushing, yo.
It's incredible that you've done it.
You know how many people can't put themselves out there like this? Motherfuckers can't even post a story about what they're doing today. And here we are expressing these deep feelings over a beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, this takes guts. It takes a lot of courage. So don't forget that. That's one thing I want to, put out there. And on that note,
fuck yeah.
Cheers to that and another good episode, brother.
I've been out for about 20 minutes, so I'll just ghost it.
Yeah, ghost it. Pretend it is. All right, y'all. That's episode 111. Make sure you tune in next week for another episode. All right. Deuces.